Due to the poor infrastructure in their home country, they have little opportunity for communication with their families for long periods of time. In December of 2004, I was appointed Minister of Education in Veracruz by our incoming Governor Fidel Rivera Beltran. My first priority was to conceive and implement a comprehensive strategy to improve our educational services throughout the state. At that time, I had almost finished my second term as President of the University of Veracruz. There, I had developed projects related to two issues close to my heart: the intensive use of upgraded information and computer technologies to enhance educational quality at the university, and the deployment of extension programs to promote self-sustained development in poor communities with the volunteer work of students. The first project implied an aggressive investment program to build about 120,000 square feet of new library spaces, information facilities, and fiber optics connectivity to promote high-quality face-to-face and distance learning in our regional campuses network distributed throughout 13 cities in the state. Our aim was, among other things, to establish a virtual library system composed of 54 dispersed library facilities among the various campus, academic departments, and research centers. The second project was aimed to take advantage of youth idealism and interdisciplinary knowledge. This project established year-round extension services brigades to encourage self-managed local action on issues related to health, productivity, and community infrastructure in some of our most remote and poor villages. At that time, we learned about the complexities involved in community work and the constraints associated with expanded operations. As Minister of Education, the first question I faced were how to make the best use of our previous experience at the university and how to surmount the magnitude of our challenge. We decided to follow a multi-modal approach by developing a new radio and television educational channel, setting up a new multi-campus consortium for online learning which uses the virtual facilities that already exist in participating institutions, schools, community centers, and public libraries. Creating regional centers for training teachers where an essential purpose is to model the proper use of ICTs, extending connectivity and computing facilities in rural schools, and by using mobile virtual classrooms and libraries to bring the essential benefits of modern-day education to the most disadvantaged rural communities. An inspiration for our mobile classrooms was the pioneer work of a prior Minister of Education in Mexico, a liberal philosopher, José Vasconcelos. In the 1920s, he had the vision of expanding educational opportunities for all. His challenge was precise: how to carry on cultural missions and distribute reading materials in small rural villages. Undaunted by large distances and poor infrastructure at that time, he formulated his own novel response. He used mules and donkeys to transport the missionaries and the precious books of learning to areas otherwise inaccessible. Recalling his work, an idea began to take shape. Imagine traveling classrooms equipped with the latest technologies to support learning. Children, young people, and adults of the most remote villages could, in a few steps, leave the world of the 19th century and transport themselves to the 21st within their own communities. Our Vasconcelos program was born. We gave it the goal of bringing the latest technology with the most current educational programs to where they are most needed, our poorest marginalized communities. Our program was built on the community resources available and on the services, expertise and experience already well developed at our university. We designed mobile virtual classrooms by outfitting all-terrain vehicles to provide up-to-date educational opportunities to people in their own environment, just as Vasconcelos had done it in the past. Our initial efforts were modest, with just one pilot vehicle in 2005. By 2006, we had 4 vehicles. Today, we have 24 and intend to increase our fleet to at least 30 buses. The largest amount of funds has come from the government of Veracruz. And here, Mr. Governor Fidel Herrera Beltran, I want to recognize your passion and support for education. Congratulations. More recently, we have received some support from public enterprises and the private sector. We have scaled up our operations by using existing resources, such as those set up by the federal government under the e-Mexico program, which consisted of establishing community digital centers and the recently digitized public libraries with funds coming from the Gates Foundation grant. Thank you, Mr. Bill Sr. Today, we are piloting 2 new projects. One is to get municipal governments to acquire their own vehicles so that Vasconcelos can provide full-time service to their respective districts. By the way, at this time, the municipal president of Costa Rica is in the process of acquiring his own Vasconcelos bus to provide services to his respective district. The second factor is to optimize the use of media classrooms located in schools and educational institutions so that they can expand learning opportunities to other members of their community. These 2 pilot projects operate with the support of courses and staff from our multi-institutional consortium for online education and from Vasconcelos. Equipment and connectivity is only part of the equation. We have found that community digital centers were underutilized, especially in remote rural areas. People in these communities were not familiar with the technology and used computers. The software was not directly relevant. The machines fell into disrepair. Vasconcelos has addressed this problem by recognizing the importance of the human factor. That is why we are using trained personnel to conduct experiential learning practices as well as providing technological resources. Our model consists of sending a team into a village for an advanced visit to discuss community needs with public officials, social leaders, teachers, and other concerned individuals. Thus, planning and design is done ahead of time and in consultation with local people, so that materials and training can be tailored to their needs. A week later, the mobile classrooms arrived with a team well trained and experiencing technology, in learning issues, and above all, in community work. They spent a 2-3 weeks period in the village, providing fun and relevant instruction to children, young adults, parents, rural workers, local producers, artisans, and municipal employees. They focus on teachers and public school students who constitute about 1/3 of the state's population. Weeks later, our team members return for a technical check, and after they leave, they continue to provide online support to the personnel operating the digital centers. We draw our team members from graduate students within a variety of disciplines and with motivation and interest in community outreach. The ethos of community service, solidarity, and teamwork accomplished during the training is outstanding. The program's success relies largely on the enthusiasm of our young staff, which is certain that social change and progress is possible, and who are highly motivated because they see themselves as missionaries who bring to people self-esteem, based on meaningful learning that increases their quality of life.